Alright, so we are in Gold 1. This is Gold 1, guys. Gold Uno.
Zerg time.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much, Cannon, for the bits. This is Gold 1.
We require more minerals.
Zerg against a Protoss. We're going to be talking about all the awesome things, all the Overlord placements, all the good stuff. And as it always goes, second Overlord is going to sit by our natural, and first Overlord is going to go over to the natural of our opponent to scout what's going on. And we're going to grab a drone to take our natural. Ideally, you want to take it around like 200, 180, 200. We're a little bit late this time, but it's okay if it's not perfect. It's not the end of the world. Ideally, you want it to be good, but as long as you take the natural within a couple seconds of when it should be thrown down, then you're fine. Okay, so we're going to throw down the 18 pool. A nice 18 pool here. Make those drones, boys. 5SD. Don't mess it up. Okay, we see a probe. This is important to pay attention to. We saw it go into the main. Fly your Overlord. Okay, we see it there, so we're fine. We're fine. You can stop it now. You can stop it. If you don't see the probe go into your main and you see the probe go this way and it just disappears, it's not the worst idea to check your mineral line. Or I mean, check this here. Okay, just green box and then move that probe. If this is what he wants to do. I click my mineral line. He's coming back again. Are you coming back in? I have his drone selected. I'm ready. Hey, move him. Okay. So we're still prioritizing making drones there. But yeah, that was some people are just trying to play annoying as fuck like that. I would say it's not a bad idea to just green box the side of the mineral line that he's trying to poke. Attack him until he runs away, and then immediately stop chasing him and mine your minerals again. Do not let your drones chase him around the hatchery and shit, if you zone out a probe like that. Okay, now looking at this guy's base, we can see 2 gates, a core, and a nexus. That's good enough. We know he's expanding. There are 2 gates, but we do know he's expanding, and we can see one of the gates is being produced out of. So it's going to be a zealot. We're not too worried. There's nothing really to be afraid of right now. We're good to go. Build goes as normal, no spine required, because he has a nexus. It really limits the amount of pressure he can do to me if he builds a nexus there. So, for instance, if I just do my standard queen opener, my queen should be able to hold off what hits me, even potentially maybe drone pulling for a second. But I don't need a spine now. I don't need to go crazy. I don't need to make lings. He's not attacking me right now. If he did attack me, it would be literally 1 zealot at like 330. Which is not scary. Okay, so we're filling in the gaps of the open airspace again. Anywhere around our base that has open airspace, we're filling in the gaps with Overlords. And let's go and take our gases. And our Evo chamber. Actually, against Protoss. Shouldn't have done that. I take it back. Do not build your wall in front of your base against Protoss. We won't cancel it, but I actually fucked up. Don't build your wall in front of your base against Protoss, like ever. The only time it ever makes sense is if he's doing like mass charge lots and you want to wall him out for a second. Then that would be okay. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Because then you just make it harder for yourself to defend yourself. Because you could kill it with immortals or stalkers or whatever. And it also makes the choke point smaller for him to abuse force fields against you with sentries. So that was a mistake. That was me kind of autopiloting. Okay, look, boys, adepts are here. But guess what? We're fully saturated already, and we're already making roaches because we're fully saturated. So look at this timing. It's perfect for us. He shows up, roaches are defending. Let my shit just A-move him. Transfer some drones to my 3rd. And let's make another queen to creep spread with. And how many roaches we got? We got 5. Let's make like 3 more. And now let's just make mass drones again. Mass drones. Yep, Magix, you can totally do that. So totally fine. Okay, keep spreading my creep. Let's go ahead and take another base because we're basically fully saturated again, as always. And Overlord placement at this point now, we can say this, okay? Let's go ahead and make... We don't know what the follow-up's going to be. We're still, for him, we still are going to do our follow-up as is. Inject my bases, spread my creep, make drones. Well, let's make an Overseer, and let's scout his base. Okay, so we got a Hydrogen. Let's go and make a gas. Let's make a couple gases. Inject one more time. Make a couple Overlords because we're close to blocking, and make drones because we're not maxed yet. Now let's fly into his base. Now we're gonna shift click it in. We're not gonna look at the Overlord the whole time. We're gonna take tabs on it. A lot of people when they scout like this, they get tunnel visioned and scouting into the base. We're in the natural. Look at it. Okay, we got Stalkers and Immortals. Keep flying into the main for a second. And it's about to die, so we can keep looking at it. And we see another Robo, or whatever. Doesn't look like anything crazy. We still macroed during that. We didn't just stare at the Overlord the whole time and like only look at it until it was going to die. Even if we didn't look at it while it was going to die, it wouldn't be the worst thing because you can look at what was there afterwards. Like what buildings did you uncover? Or stuff like that. Okay, look at our money. It's a bit high. Let's go ahead and make a macro hatch, right? We're a little bit high on the monies. And now look at our drone count. It's 81. Do I have an Evo chamber? Did I make another one? Yeah, I don't need this one. We're good. Grab some drones off the mineral line. Send them over here. Let's take another base. Inject. Inject. Make hydras. Inject.
We require more minerals.
Drone saturation needs to be fixed.
Mineral field depleted.
Make some gases. Make some Overlords. We're gonna block.
Metamorphosis complete.
Inject, boys. Inject, boy.
Enough energy.
Inject. Make hydras. Creep spread.
Mineral field depleted.
Grab our queen again, and we can make another tumor up here too, because this base is like kind of new up here. Okay, and then make hydras. Okay, let's go ahead and make an infestation pit. Grab 3 more drones because it fixes the mineral line. Send them somewhere new again, and we can inject our bases. Inject, 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 and creep spread. Make hydras during creep spread.
We require more minerals.
We're about to cap on Overlords. On supply, I mean. So we need 2 Overlords. And let's keep spreading that creep. Make hydras again.
We require more minerals.
Make them hydras again, boys.
We require more minerals. Metamorphosis. Mutation.
Okay, start at level next armor upgrade. Now let's grab a couple roaches and right click, 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 right click. Every base is getting scouted again, just like always. So we're gonna see what the hell's going on, right? Now let's keep tabs on our base. While we're getting ready to move out, let's do one final thing. Inject. Spread my creep one more time.
Unacceptable command.
And then I'm sure you guys know what's coming next. It's the final setup to when we move out.
Acceptable command.
Creep. Creep. Each one of my bases. Spore, spine, spine. 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 Drone count is down. Let's make new drones. And now drone count is back to a... We're actually 2 drones under where we should be. But yeah, we'll fix it in a second. There we go. Now we're back. 82 drones, guys, and look at the base. Look at the base. We found the new base. A move, shift, A move, shift, A move, shift, A move. And now we're moving out to fuck his base up. Now let's go back to injecting. Inject, inject. Inject, inject. Inject, inject. Let's look at our upgrades because we just got Hive and an upgrade just finished. We just heard it. Make an upgrade. And now let's look at our creep spread. While we do creep spread, look at our supply. Make Hydras. Creep. Creep. Make Hydras. Creep. Creep. Make Hydras. Creep. Move my queen forward. Creep. Make Hydras. Make more creep. Call it a day. And start one new base over here too. Look at our bases again. Inject. 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 Base counts are looking good but in terms of drone saturation. Make some gases here. We can make a few more drones for this base. Make Hydras again. We're back to 84 drones. We're looking great. Now let's inject again. GG. So we were looking good. Boys, we were looking good. Oh yeah. Looking great. We got those droney boys on all my bases. Pretty well saturated. And one more time, just to, as always, I loved giving these examples. This is a repetitive, yet very, very informative example of let's look at the worker count compared to supply. Do you always control click eggs and click them to army? We'll talk about eggs next game, actually. I don't talk about eggs enough. That is actually a good call. We'll talk about eggs next game. But actually, you know what? We'll talk about eggs and platinum because I really am not doing anything with eggs right now. All I'm doing with all I'm doing with eggs is if it's something like this, okay? Listen to this. If I have 20 larvae and I only have enough minerals to make 17 of them, or yeah, if I only have enough minerals to make like 17 of them drones currently, and let's say I don't have enough money to make the last 3 larvae yet, what I can do is I can make 17 out of 20 larvae into drones. 17 eggs will appear in that control group. I can hold control and click on one of those eggs. It doesn't matter which one I click on, just any of them. It will deselect all 3 larvae because what it does is it selects only the subgroup of that entire group of units. So if there's larvae, overlords, queens, and drones, and eggs all in the same subgroup and I can control click an egg, it will select all the eggs and deselect everything else. It works like that in every way. If you, whatever you control click in a subgroup, it deselects everything else and clicks only that type of unit. So I could control click an egg and I could right click a mineral line or something like that if I wanted to. Or I could control click like 15 or 17 eggs of drones and I could be like right click 3 times. Or right click and then shift click out 3 eggs, right click, shift click out 3 eggs, right click the mineral line for the rest. I could do that too. Things like that. Yeah, I do control click eggs sometimes for saturation of minerals. To do things like that, because the reason why you can't just make 3 drones and then right click shit is because larva is the priority. So if I right click like if I want to right click like a mineral line and I have 20 larvae and 17 of them are drones now, it'll still have the 3 larvae will be the priority there, and it'll be like I'm saying the larva to click the mineral line, and it won't do anything because you can't make your larvae move around. Larvae they do what they do. They just sit there at your hatchery. They don't move around. They don't like run away from the hatchery. So yeah, control clicking the egg would be a good way to fix that. You can also hit tab and fix it that way too, but I think that's more annoying. Control clicking is probably the easiest way to do that, or you can just right click your hatchery entirely on like a base. Later on too, when we talk about microing and making control groups, we'll delve more into that, where you can like add your eggs to your control groups. But that, again, that's not something that applies to Gold League yet, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But yeah. I am trying to explain to you guys what I'm doing every time for you know, like the whole how I move my drones around and stuff like that. It's mostly just because you get faster and faster with the mouse as you get more comfortable with the game. But again, boys, check this out. Up here. Look how fast you hit this worker count every time. And then this is what I was talking about with Hydras. I've talked about Hydras in so many different situations, in the Terran videos and the Protoss videos and also in the Zerg videos. Hydras are not good units unless you are overwhelming your opponent. Like, they're good support units sometimes for other things, which, again, we'll talk about later on when we get higher level. But if we're going mass Hydras, it's not good unless you are overwhelming your opponent's supply, because you very well should be. There's no reason why you should not have a supply lead if your whole army is Hydras. And the reason why this is because Hydras are cheap compared. 2 Hydras are cheaper than 1 Immortal. Stuff like that. Like, these units are not the most expensive things. 2 Hydras are cheaper than an Archon. Hydras are just, they're bland, they're basic, they're effective, but they definitely need a supply advantage to be able to actually perform. So if I'm fighting my opponent with 87 supply and let's say I'm at 90, it would probably not go very well for me. However, and also even worse, if he's like at, let's say he's 87 and I'm at 67 supply, I'm the one who's down, it'll go even worse. I'll get destroyed. Hydras only really work if you have supply leads, and we're talking like large supply leads. Or like at least 40. And in this game we have 100 because the economy wasn't as efficient as it should have been for the Protoss. It took him too long to get to where he is. At 9 minutes with 66 probes. Ideally, 66 probes, you want to be at that amount of probes around like 6 minutes. So like, or maybe like 6:30, like 3 minutes ago. And then we just made a bunch of drones into static D, so we dropped and then we remade drones to fix it back up again. But yeah, this is once again just a macro win. There's nothing too crazy about this game. We control the map really well right now with creep spread everywhere, but this is a macro win in a nutshell. We just got a good economy early. The dude didn't really get anything done with his adept pressure he tried to do because it showed up when we already had roaches out because we fully saturated 2 bases really fast, which is something Zerg can totally do as long as you're utilizing your larva properly. And then we, yeah, just shoved him back. We shoved him back. Okay, we got a Zerg versus Zerg. We need a cheese-oriented bronze to GM series. Hell yeah, we do. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Just kidding. We really don't need that. That's actually awful. I would not be the person to make that series. Because that series is going to make you look like a total asshole. Whoever makes that series is a complete dick. Because he's basically just styling and like he's basically just making fun of and styling all over low league players because he's like, look at me all owning this guy again and I'm owning the shit out of him. This is all you gotta do, guys. It's so easy. These guys can't micro. Let me show you how to fucking style on him all day. And it just makes the guy look like an a-hole. And then people who try to emulate it can't emulate it because micro is yeah. Micro is not easy to replicate because the hidden thing about it is micro is not just micro. Micro is also mixed with macro. And being able to micro efficiently and macro at the same time is not easy. It's not something that someone in low league can do very well. Okay, so yeah, we're not gonna talk too much about eggs, guys. I'll try to tell you guys if I ever do anything weird with eggs, but it's pretty basic. Like everything I'm really realistically doing, I'm kind of already explained it, or I keep explaining it more or less. Okay, so an Overlord in front of my natural. Again, this is a ZVZ. Overlord in front of his natural to scout and see what he's doing. And double queens, make drones. Get my gas saturated, grab one drone off because we're over. Re-rally my hatcheries. Good stuff. Okay, he's got an expansion. So he expanded and that's on time. His creep is already done by the time I got here, so that's not looking weird. So here's what we're going to do. One Overlord comes up here to scout for the third base. This Overlord pulls back to see this ramp if he moves down the ramp. And then other Overlords move into the middle of the map. We can move one Overlord over here in case he goes wide. And if my Overlord gets pushed back, we can have another one over here to cover this angle. We'll fill in this gap in the middle here. Perfect spot. We'll fill in the other gap over here in the middle or something later on. Just filling in like crossroads of the map where he has to walk in some way is a great place to put your Overlords in ZVZ. So let's go ahead and start a Roach Warren and an Evo Chamber. And then the next time we get some minerals extra, when this next inject pops off, once we spend all our money, we'll go take a third base. Inject, inject, make my drones. And now the next 300 minerals we get will be a third. So he's pushing my Overlord back. This is a sign of aggression. Whenever someone does this, it's usually because they want to make you blind to a type of timing they might do. It does happen. Or he might just want to kill it, but yeah. And they look at, so we see aggression, right? So let's do this. Wall my base off. We're getting all in right now, guys. Wall my base off. Rally my hatcheries to the wall and make roaches. Just make roaches. This is why I tell you guys, you can totally drone your ass off and still be fine. He's still flooding me. This is full all in. So don't stop making roaches. Let's saturate my gases. Don't panic. Saturate those gases. Don't forget to inject our bases. Is he still flooding me? He's still kind of running around with a lot of shit. It's a lot of lings. Okay. Well, it seems like he kind of backed off, and now we do actually have a lot of roaches. So let's kill my third. Or I'm sorry, not my third. Let's kill my wall. Make one round of drones. And instead of actually fully walling now, let's make a pseudo wall where it's a little tiny gap. So I can still fit in and out of my base, but it's like a little tiny entrance, so it makes lings really shitty. And we'll get upgrades now. Roach speed and range weapons. So that's the power of Overlord spread. We saw that shit happening before it happened. And we just made 4 Overlords. We're going to click at my eggs over here, shift one out. Click my egg, shift one out. Click an egg over here, and done. Okay. Now let's make an Overseer. Okay, he's attacking me. So since he's attacking me, let's go defend. And let's start making more roaches, because this is a lot of shit. Okay, now we'll retake a third again. And now he's backing off. He's being non-committal, which makes me think he's transitioning into something else. So I feel like at this point now, we made a round of roaches. He's already intimidated to fight my initial round of roaches, and he's backing off. So now I made even more. Let's just stop making roaches at this point, and let's go into drones. We don't see a third from him yet still, but let's figure out what he's doing. Let's get a changeling into his base. We're going to shift click it around his base like that, and now we're going to make drones. We'll inject one more time really quick too. But we're going to make drones while we control the Overseer around his base. We're making drones, guys. There's a Roach Warren from him. There's Banelings being made. We're still making drones in the process. There's still only hatchery tech. This is about as all in as you can get. There is no follow-up to this. Get in the doorway. There you go. Fucking right on. It's the power of a door. You can make lings suck balls. And now let's go ahead and start making a second Evo like we always do. And a Hydra Den. And let's just... We're at a good, healthy drone count. And he's trying to take a third. Let's just keep droning. Unless we see him physically attack us, let's just keep droning. And let's try to get some Overlords back on the map on the right side a little bit more, because he killed a couple. Let's take another base. Oh, did I make another Evo? Oh, my bad. You're right. I forgot I have 2 in the wall. Inject. 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 Do a lot of injects because my third's really late, so my queen has a lot of energy. Keep droning. If we see him move out, we will make roaches, or we will make hydras. But for now, we will make roaches, or we will make drones for now. Let's make an Infestation Pit. Inject my bases. Drone count is 74. We're almost done. Rally to my new base. We can even take another base again. Keep droning. Drone count is now 82. That is good. I'm happy to have 82 drones. We can stop. Let's start going into Hydras now. And he never... We can go attack him. He'll kill my hatchery. We'll make a new one. Make a new drone to replace that drone that just made that. And, yeah. Start making Hydras while we upkeep our base. 5 extra. Send him over here. Good stuff. Start making creep again, too. Make Hydras. So again, it might sound like I'm talking fast. I'm trying not to talk fast at all, but the whole goal is hit 80 drones because he's not constantly attacking me. He's like non-committal. I backed off. I'm sitting here. So we make drones. And we're going to make units if he pushes on the map again, but he didn't. He just sat there. So we went for 80 drones. We kept the upkeep of the base going the whole time. Drones, 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 overlords, 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 expands, expands, expands. And then as soon as we were done droning, we go into Hydras. That's all it was. And we're looking at our bases periodically being like, not optimal, fix that shit. Not optimal, fix that shit again. 22 is fine because 6 will go to the gas. And we are about to max out right now. So let's send one roach out again. Boom, boom, boom. And another roach. Boom, 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 boom. On the left and right side of the map. We can already see a lot of the map with our overlords, so we already know a lot of bases don't exist. But we'll still send them out there anyways, just because it's a habit we're developing. You might not have overlords in the best spots every game, so just do it every game. Inject, inject, inject. Let's go ahead and make a hive. And let's spread our creep one time really fast. And then we can start spreading some more creep on the top side too. Okay, let's make a round of Hydras. And let's A-move his base. So there's a base right there. A-move this base, shift, A-move the ramp, shift, A-move his main, because we're going to kill outer base first. And let's inject the bases while we're moving out. Upgrade's ready to go. Let's do another upgrade. And we can spread our creep. Also, we can make Spore, Spine, Spine at every base. Spore, Spine, Spine. Spore, Spine, Spine. Spore, Spine, Spine. Now, drone count's a little bit weak. Make a lot of drones for this base. Drone count's back to 84. Solid. Make Hydras. Inject. 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 Base count looking good. The hive just finished, so let's get level 3 weapons. Make Hydras. Good stuff. Inject my bases. Spread that creep. Make Hydras while spreading the creep. Every third tumor, make Hydras. Make Hydras. Make Hydras. And you know what the result of what just happened was? We just killed his 4th base and secured our bases with static D for the trade of my entire army. So we also consume the map a little bit more. We'll inject again. So it's not a bad trade. It's not the best trade, but we're still ahead in this game because of that. We're controlling his economy more than he's controlling ours. So let's go ahead and take another base because we're pretty much fully saturated almost everywhere. And we'll keep the process up of what we're doing. Inject. 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 I have an over drone on my natural. Let's go send it somewhere else. Here, whatever. Now let's do it again. Select all army. Attack his new base. Shift, attack his 3rd. Shift, attack his natural. Shift, attack his main. And let's spread our creep. Because we just injected a second ago. And we'll inject again after the creep. Creep, creep. Make Hydras. Inject our bases. Inject. And a mutation just completed right in front of my face. Make another upgrade for level 3 armor. Inject. And now we just killed his new 4th base again. So he's once again, like he just started this one, he's once again stuck on 3 bases. And now if my attack fails, I know where I want to attack next. Again. Make Hydras.
We require more Vespine gas.
Make Hydras. Oh, and let's inject. 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 Creep spread. It's not ready yet. Make Hydras. Okay, creep spread. Creep spread. Creep spread. Creep spread. Creep. You can jump over the wall with this. Creep. 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 And creep. I'm gonna make another one like right there. Make Hydras. Okay, so we didn't kill him again. He's not dead. So let's inject one more time, once again, and let's check our minerals. Base in the main. I am actually missing a gas in the main, so let's saturate it. Otherwise, main's fine. We still have efficient drones. As long as they're efficient is all we care about. It's perfect. Inject the base. Efficient still. Inject the base. Efficient. Efficient. And now he's attacking here, so let's grab my army and attack this way. We'll retake another base. We'll expand here now. Fuck it. He's backing off, so let's attack here. Shift back to his 3rd. Shift to his natural. Shift to his main. Let my army do its thing. Inject my bases. Upkeep of the bases, boys. Upkeep of those bases. And we can spread our creep again. We're like... This creep is giving us so much vision, it's insane right now. I can see everything on this map almost. We have like 60% of the map consumed with creep right now. Because it's all we're focusing on. And make Hydras again. Inject. 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 So our opponent fell apart again. Because of macro. And you guys know what we're going to look at. You know what we're going to look at. That supply and that drone count. I never tell good luck have fun. I feel bad. I keep forgetting to do that. I don't mean to not say it. I just get distracted. But look, right here. 10 drone difference. It's because he's doing the Ling All-In. That's right. I forgot he did this. This is why you also really want to send more than one Overlord out on the map. Really important. I'm glad actually that he did this build because this is something a lot of people die to. Proper Overlord placements. In ZVZ, you do not send one Overlord and scout the natural and then call it a day. And that's it. In ZVZ, you literally want to have like 5 Overlords on the map. Like your first 5 Overlords are all spread out across key points of the map. And there are always, these are how you read key points. There's 3 stages of them. You got stage 1 is your opponent's side. Stage 2 is the center. And stage 3 is your side. Here's stage 1. Choke points on how he gets out of his base. Perfect Overlord spot is where his Overlord is right now. That's where mine was until his queen came out here and shoved it away. This is a perfect spot because I can see him if he leaves his base this way. There's no other way. He cannot leave his base down here. He can't do anything. The only other way he gets out of his base is through Drop Lords or through a Nidus, which requires a lair, which is way later. It's way later in the game. But just to leave his base in the front, perfect spot. The only other way you can leave his base is through this hallway. And then you don't really want to have an Overlord sitting right here because it's so close to being killed by a queen. But instead, you can, this hallway extends on this map all the way back here. This would be a perfect Overlord spot right here. Because he cannot get past your Overlord without you seeing it. And also your Overlord being in an area where it can see everything that passes by it perfectly. You can also see if he puts a 3rd down. You can see when he takes his 3rd with an Overlord right here. Perfect Overlord spot. Because the Overlord's vision radius is like that box that I'm showing you right there is about, if the Overlord was in the center of that, that's about how far it can see. So it's perfect. No unit on the ground could get by that. And then we could also see the 3rd. Great. Next Overlord spots that would be great would be like, one would be like right here in the very center of the map. So you can see if he comes down across the center. Another one would be like right here or like right here. So you can see if he crosses over on this side. Another one would be like over here. So you can see if he crosses around the top. Behind this could be like over here or back over here. And then for defensive overlord spots, you have like in front of your bases. So this would be a great spot for an overlord, like maybe like right here even. So you could see if he's like morphing in Banes and he's going to run at you. Right here would be a great defensive overlord spot. So you can see if he's coming up the ramp with Banes and stuff like that. Right here would be a decent overlord spot. So you don't have this blind darkness in between your bases where he can morph in. Hidden Banes again. Like Banes are the big one. The stages are like this, okay? As well. So let me explain how they're really important. Number one, his side of the map, it's important because you get to see initial move out, which causes initial reaction from you. It gives you the most time to react to what he's doing. Middle stages, the middle of the map is army movement. So you can always put your army in the right spot at the right time. So if you see him curving to the right, you can curve your army to your third. If you see him curving to the left, you can curve your army to the natural. It's way easier for you to get back and defend between your two bases than it is for him to run across the entire middle of the map. So you can have positional advantage against him. Plus, it's also a backup for the first Overlord in case you somehow miss the first one and you see it on the second one. You're like, oh shit, he's flooding me. It's just backups for the first one too. And the last one, the defensive Overlord, is not only awareness for where he's going again, but it's also safety against maneuvers like Hidden Banes. Hidden Banes can end games in like 2 seconds if he gets in your mineral line, and like 4 Banes blow up 12 drones. That sucks. But yeah, the defensive Overlords are for sure to just reinforce positioning of where he is, but mainly making sure you don't get hit by anything sneaky. And look at that. Look at the drone count. After his... We saw... Oh, he's Ling flooding. All we had to do was make a wall. And it buys us time to build roaches behind the wall. And if he sticks around long enough to break the wall, we will build up enough army to shut him down. No problem. Because look at the army supply already. He's already less than me, and he didn't break the wall. He's got 23. I've got 28. The only way that Ling timing works is if I let him just run into my base and kill my queens and kill my drones. This is why building placement is huge in ZVZ, because just putting your buildings in front of your base can completely shut down builds like this. And now we just make units at a way faster pace. How did you identify a Ling flood? Because we have overlords placed around the map and we saw it. The other one was he had a little bit of a tell, which was he was attacking my overlord with a queen, and he literally chased it from right here all the way over the cliff to right back here. And then he tried to run a different way. He ran around my second overlord because his queen pushed my first overlord out of the way. His Lings ran up this way, and they ran by this overlord, and I saw it. And then I also once again saw it with my third overlord. My other overlord was standing right here, or sitting right here, and his queen came out again even further and shoved this overlord back over this wall. So I saw it again. So I saw multiple times of the Lings with my overlords. Overlord spread is huge, which is what we just talked about. But yeah. And then now at this point, we are pretty much fully saturated on 2 bases. Our third is so far away from being saturated that we made... Oh, shit. We made one more round of roaches. I fast forwarded it so far. What the hell? We made one more round of roaches right now because he was engaging us with more Lings again. Like, he showed me he was engaging. He's right here. He's killing me. So I'm like, well, I'm going to take this fight. Looking at the size of this Zergling army and the size of this Roach army, there is a good chance we're going to reset each other's armies. And if this dude decides he wants to flood me while doing this, I should know that I'm fully saturated on 2 bases, and I will take better trades than he will, because I will, for one, I'm making more efficient units. As soon as these upgrades are done, my units are more efficient than his. Roaches are better than Lings. They scale better than Lings do in the mid game in ZVZ as soon as you get upgrades. But if I lose my roaches and I just make drones, there's no way I can defend my third anyways. It makes no sense. Like, this guy's getting aggressive, and this is when I tell you guys it's okay to make more army. If they're attacking you and you have the intention to lose your units to fight him off, it's okay to make more roaches then. So we make, as he kills my third and runs away, we had already made 11 roaches. Just in case we took a fight right there. We don't know if he's going to run away. He chose not to fight it, so what do we do then? We immediately make drones again. We don't just sit making roaches here because we're panicking. We drone all day now. And then we reinforce droning because we also see with our Overlord that's over here that we talked about earlier, it can see he's also taking a third now. The fact that he's now non-committal with these lings and he runs away and then he also shows me a third base, this reinforces that I feel safe to make drones now. And then we also make the Overseer to scout him eventually too. To see what's going on further, but yeah. And I can't remember if this is the Overseer or not. I don't know. Or did we already scout him with the Overseer? I think we already scouted him. Yeah, we already did. But I think I scouted him at like 5 minutes. It's fine. But now we have Hydras. Okay, so we macroed up to the ideal saturation, and now we're just going Hydra, 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 Hydra. I will say Hydras are probably not the best army you can make against this kind of composition, but it doesn't matter, guys. This is why I'm trying to prove to you guys that as well. Composition and choice, unit choice, it really doesn't mean that much as long as it's a movie. Like Roach Hydra is very a movie for Zerg. Thor Hellbat's very a movie for Terran, and like Colossus Immortal Archon Stalker or something like that is very a movie for Protoss. It takes care of itself basically. Because look at this. Not the greatest trade for us. We had so much more supply than he did, and we just kind of got rolled there. To a point. With the amount of supply that we had, the fact that we still lost our army is kind of crazy. But, all said and done after the fight's over, we're trading. That was, quote unquote, a trade. Even though it wasn't the greatest trade for us. We're mining a lot more. That's the concept. We are going to repeatedly throw waves at him like that he cannot handle over time. So this time around, he was able to hold it because he had like 50 or 60 Banes. Next time we attack him, he can't afford that much shit again. And next time we attack him, it might only be like 15 Banes or 20 Banes. So here we are again. We're attacking him again right now. We're knocking out another base. And here, look at this fight now. Look at how this one looks. And look at the bank. There is really not much of a bank for Zerg, for our opponent, but there is a massive bank for us. We could remake a lot of Hydras that die right now. And it's growing rapidly too. We still have 84 active drones mining the whole time. So this is going to keep happening again and again and again. And look at the supply right now. We're still maxed. Or we were a second ago. And now this dude is running, like if he has to evacuate this base, there's no real efficient mining going on at all anymore. It's, this is definitely a losing game here. All the Hydras die. We don't really care because you know why? We maxed again. The second they died, we're like maxed again. It's the whole concept of just repetitive hammer drops on your opponent. And you can do that if you know how to make an economy. But now this time his army is going to be even smaller. And look at the supply. We're maxed again. And look at the bank. We could lose a lot more Hydras as well right now and still max. Just keep maxing. Play that Will Smith song for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the intro. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, dude. That's how you do it. Yo, Stephanie, thank you for the 4-month sub, by the way. During that game, you're a SC god. Thank you for this series. Yo, thank you for watching it. Thank you. And Tarmastar, thank you for the 13 months as well. Yo, ViBE Beta Gym series got me back, and I placed in a Diamond 3. I gotta catch up. Fucking get it, dude. Get it. Tarmastar, thank you very much for the 13. Tier 2 as well, by the way. Oh, damn. Oh, baby. Thank you, man. Much love. Okay, we got a Terran now, guys. A Terran. How do you suppress the habit of looking at your army? Oh, because I feel like I know. I'm confident enough to know the habits of players and then what players do. And it's more or less my desire to prove to you guys that that's right. That makes me not have a problem with not looking at my army. Because I think a lot of people are doubters about that until I prove them, until I prove it otherwise. Yo, Zai, thank you for the 100 biddies. 1 plus 99. And Free Bird G. I think he was all for the sub. Welcome back, dude. Or welcome with the prime. Fuck yeah, man. Yeah.
We require more minerals.
But yeah, it's really just my desire to prove to people that macro is important. Because I can't tell you guys how wrong it feels whenever I hear someone who is trying to get better at StarCraft. Anytime they talk about anything that is not macro, if they're anything below Masters League. Or even like Diamond's like the iffy one. If I'm listening to like a guy who's like 5.1k MMR talk about micro, I don't mind. I think that's fine. That makes sense. I would totally have a discussion with that guy about proper micro. But if I talk to a guy who's like 2.3k MMR or 2.8k MMR about micro, I'm like, this is a waste of time. For not for me, but for you, this is a waste of your time. I don't know why you're even focused on this. It's the worst thing you can think about. It doesn't make any sense for you to worry about it right now because it doesn't help you at all. It's like watching someone just make a mistake and they don't realize it. Yo, Vibe, I've been watching your old Bronze Gem series, currently Diamond 3, and it's really been helping me a lot, so thank you. No worries, Darrow. Thank you for watching it, dude, and this one should be even better. Okay, guys, 2 barracks. 3 barracks. Aggression. This is aggression. Let's go ahead and get our Overlord out of there. If it dies, it dies. We don't care. And let's go ahead and build ourselves a nice spine crawler. What's the current rank? The current rank is gold 1. Okay, so we got a spine. We're gonna go ahead and build our roach warren. We don't really want to build our buildings in a wall formation this time, and this guy looks like he's gonna all in me. But it's with range units, not melee units. So let's go ahead and build our roach warren like in our main base. Like right here. Because the last thing I want to do is build a roach warren like there to wall the ramp off and have him kill it from the bottom of it. I don't want that to happen. We can start our 3rd base. And this is I hope this happens this game the way, like, you know, what I hope happens is I hope he attacks me and I still hit full saturation on 2 bases and start making roaches and still defend the all in. This is the thing I want you guys to know, that if you're just efficient and fast about it, if you don't waste time, okay? If you do not waste your time, you can still defend all ins and make units and be okay. So look, he's attacking me. That spine's gonna buy us time to make roaches now. He's still flooding me. He's rallying to my base. Let's go ahead and make a Evo chamber. And we're making roaches. So many Marines just thrown away? Sure. But here's the thing. If he attacks me with those Marines early like that, it's going to look like that where my spine that I made because he's aggressive and my queens can hold it off. But if he waits to make more Marines, I'll have roaches. And look, here's more Marines coming and I have roaches. Just A-move it. Literally A-move it. Keep producing units.
We require more minerals. We require more.
Just keep producing units and we're fine. Because we produce units at a faster pace than he does. We will eventually win this fight. That's how it goes. If he would have waited and not attacked me with those first like 5 Marines, it wouldn't have mattered because we were already in the roach producing part of the phase. We will overpower his attack because the way it works, and like if this guy builds all of his barracks, okay, in his base, all of his barracks are in his base and he's walking across the map to all in me, I can 100% saturate 2 bases and then just make army and I could be fine. The only thing that would make me deviate from this kind of an opener would be if the barracks were literally built like right here. Barracks, barracks, barracks in that big green box. And instead of walking across the map, he builds a Marine. It walks for like 4 seconds and suddenly it's in hitting my base. If that was the case, I would probably have to like make Zerglings or something, because it would be okay to make Zerglings then because he's so close that I could literally overpower a few Marines in my face and then run over to the barracks and overpower the barracks because they're in my face. And I could camp the barracks as they're trying to build units if I make enough units fast enough. It would be different then. But then there would also be a lot more stuff attacking me really fast, so it would require me to make Lings. I would feel more pressured to make Lings. But seeing someone who plays like this, where I'm like, oh, you have all your buildings in your base, and you're opening what almost looks like macro, but because it's 3 base, it's actually an all-in. Like 3 barracks instead of having a CC. This is definitely going to spin. If he wants to be optimal about it, which he was, look at his money, look at his supply. This is optimal. He kept good uptime on his barracks. He was producing Marines nonstop. He got combat shield and he was getting +1 weapons. The only thing I would say that's maybe not the most efficient is the amount of gas that he has. Because he's like, I feel like if he's going to keep mining gas after he gets these upgrades, maybe he should stop mining gas altogether. Or if he's going to keep mining gas, he should get Marauders with this or something. Either way, who cares? It's not the biggest of deals. He was producing is the big one. He was actually producing out of his barracks the entire time, which is why his army was kind of large at one point. Like he almost started looking like he might kill some of my shit. But then the amount of production just like fell into our favor. But when he has all of his shit in his side of the map, I just don't really feel pressured. You should not really feel pressured to not saturate 2 base. Because look how fast it happens if you do it efficiently. Just watch the timers. Watch the timers. So we're in his base. This is the first time we saw the Marine, and we saw 3 barracks. We know what he's doing. We know this is aggressive, and we're like, okay, yeah, this guy's going to be aggressive. We already have more than enough drones to fully saturate 1 base. 25 is 3 drones over 1 base saturation. And he just started making... He hasn't even fully committed all of his add-ons, or completed all of his add-ons. We have a lot of time to prepare for this. If this guy moves out with these Marines right now, we have a spine and queens. We're about to have 2 queens and a spine. And you guys actually saw me kill these Marines literally with 2 spines and a queen. So we're okay against these right now. We literally kill them. And then he starts rallying across the map with the rest of his Marines. We're still making drones, guys. We are just about done, though. We are just about done. And the Roach Warren is also just about done. He's moving his first Marines into my base. He's rallying across the map to my base. I have no units right now. But I can produce units really, really fast. Twice the speed he can. Because I have a good economy. So I can literally overpower him over time. And he can't just teleport units into my base. He has to walk across the map. So I have plenty of time to react to future reinforcements. So check this out. Look at the army tab here. 21 army supply for Terran. 20 workers. We have 6 army supply and 44 drones. That 6 army supply, by the way, is 3 queens. That is what that stands for. Queens count as army supply. We have no units yet. In terms of units tab, we have drones, overlords, and queens, and 1 larva. But now look at it. And Roach Warren is 2 seconds from being done. So he could sit here and go, you know what? I'm gonna let my shit stack up. I'm gonna let it kind of accumulate. Well, in 2 seconds we're making roaches as well, so we'll be like we can also stack up roaches now. But he decides to take a fight against Spine Queen. This is why you make the spine. We do a great job at knocking out like 7 Marines or something right there. And look at army supply now. He has 17. We have 12. We are now going into the roaching phase. And and also our third base is like halfway done. So when this hatchery finishes, and we also have a queen going over to inject it, my production is going to go even faster. And suddenly, now, as soon as my first inject pops off, look at this now. Okay, now let's look at it. Army supply, 26 for Terran, 24 for Zerg. He has clumped up enough Marines now to where he feels confident to once again push into me. And he's about to have one of his upgrades of his engineering bay done. So he's going to have actually upgraded units too here in the next like 10 seconds. Which is going to it's going to take effect in this fight. But we are, like I said before, we are going to be, when he shows up to really attack me, armor first, it doesn't matter. If it was weapons first, it wouldn't matter either. I'm just going to throw that out there. But armor first is worse for Terran. He shows up. We're going to take the fight right now. Okay? Right now. The fight is happening. Let's look at army supply. 26 for Terran. 24 for Zerg. In about the next 20 seconds, our supply is probably going to be around 30. And his supply is going to probably be around 15. Because we produce at a faster rate than he does. And we can withstand and then shove back. And then we control the whole game from this point. This is, again, a very hard thing to teach people because everyone freaks out about, I'm getting all in. But from like once you do this a few times, like a lot of times, and you have experience with like your build and you're efficient with it, you'll be like, wow, okay, I can get away with a lot of stuff. This right here, let me say this and then we'll watch the example. This, what we're looking at right now, this is an example of a proper game. And the reason why I say it is a proper game is because I did not waste larva with time. I didn't leave drones not being mined for fucking 20 seconds at a time. I didn't let my hatcheries miss injects. I made everything. I only focused on droning, overlord, drone. That's all I focused on the whole time. I maximized my injects. I maximized my larva. That creates a proper example for Zerg. And with this proper example, we proved we can saturate 2 mineral lines and still hold off a 3 racks marine all-in that is in the Terran's main base. However, if I was someone who did not maximize my larva, let's say I missed 3 injects up to this point on between both my hatcheries, I wasn't utilizing my, like a lot of times I would let 5 larvae stack up on my hatcheries and then I would spend it all at once. My money kept going to like 700 and I would drop it down to 300. Stuff like that. I got supply blocked 2 times. Well, what would happen then is he would show up with Marines and he would kill me. And then I would think to myself, I cannot saturate 2 bases and survive this. It's impossible. I die. That's probably what I would think. Because I would not have a proper example. I would have a misleading example, which is why I think a lot of players in low leagues get confused as to what you're capable of, which is why I tell you so many times, do not fucking distract yourself with all these other tasks you're trying to do. Because every time you try to do something else, you literally create a non-proper game because you're so distracted and you don't macro properly anymore. If you don't macro properly, the whole example, Jesus, I hit my mic. The whole example is like thrown off. It doesn't make any sense anymore. The whole example is null and void. And you should not learn anything from that game, which is why I'm so stressing so hard. Macro is how you need to learn how this game works before you can even try to learn anything else. Because everything else you're learning, if you don't know how to macro properly, is it's an invalid example. It's just, if it's null, it's void, it doesn't matter, makes no sense. It's not actually proper to learn from. Hopefully that makes sense. That's why I'm stressing this so hard throughout all these leagues in the beginning, to teach you guys good habits with building economy. But now look at this. Like I said before, I'm going to be at 30 when this is over, and he's going to probably be 15. So we're fighting, we're fighting, we're fighting. We're still fighting. He's making more Marines come up the ramp behind me now. And the fight is over now. He literally just left the game. Now I'm going to say Terran's going to be probably around 15 supply. It would be even less if I let these last 2 Marines die, but he literally just left. I will be around 30. So let's look. Terran is at 17. Zerg is at 36. So, and again, the reason why that makes sense and why that works is because we are mining and producing at a much more efficient rate. So all we have to do is match what he has when he shows up, and then our economy just like drops the fucking hammer on him over time, and eventually it's like, well, you're producing this fast and we're going way quicker, so our speed is quicker at remaxing or at resupplying, and it'll hit a point where I will surpass him and continuously surpass him. So like he'll just die, like he will over time fall apart and die. Yeah. All right, one more game and where we should be out of gold league for Zerg. One more game and gold Zerg should be done. Chase the cat. All right, we got a Protoss. Platinum Protoss. Go to his natural, boys. Overlord to his natural. Let's go. Make those drones. Don't stop. SD. What's a good point to get hydrogen? It's when you start saturating your third base. Wait, what? I didn't make an Overlord. Oh, God. Okay, if you don't make an Overlord, do this. Make 2 gases. Fucking red chat. Make 2 gases. Make 2 drones. Cancel your gases. And now suddenly your larva, at least your larva gets fixed. Because now I'm not going to sit there with max larva. Okay, did you guys see that probe? It was really fast. Okay, it might just be a scout, but it might be a cannon rush.
We require more minerals. We require more minerals.
So again, we're going to leave the Overlord kind of around where the probe's going to go. Probe disappear. There he is again. Okay. What are you doing? You going to go to my natural? You going to mess around with some shit? Keep making drones whenever you can and throw your pool down. I actually made 1 drone too many. This is an example of definitely messing your build up from the very beginning. But it doesn't matter that much because we're maximizing our larva still. There can be a little bit of timings thrown off here and there, but as long as your larva does not hit 3 on the hatchery, ever, it's not that bad. I mean, obviously try to spin your larva as fast as you can all the time. But the big one is don't ever let your larva hit 3, because then if you hit 3, your larva stops generating. Which that means you're losing units, says Zerg. They're just effectively like dying at that point. Because they don't exist anymore. You can't get them back. Okay, no natural yet. Scout further into his base and see what's happening. So we got 2 gateways, no natural. 1 gateway is producing. He made his zealot already. This is one of these things again where we're not going to click his gas yet, but you have to ask yourself, where the fuck is his gas going? Like, really, where is your gas going? Run around his base a little more. We'll make a layer. We'll make another queen, and let's make a spine. Because he doesn't have a natural and his build is weird. There's 2 zealots. Again, more reason. If this was a higher league, I would immediately be thinking this is a proxy Stargate. But we're not going to do anything about it yet. We're just going to be like, okay, well, cool. He's making zealots. It's okay. If you don't get the right answer, it's okay. Let's go ahead and make our Roach Warren. And you'll see why. Once again, this is the reason. If we lose a bunch of drones, we will still be ahead if we make drones, because he's one base all-inning me right now. He's one base in this shit. That's not good. Okay, let's make some drones and gases, and let's also start our third base because we can afford it. Let's go ahead and make a defensive overseer because he is one basing me. And that is a great answer to Dark Templar. It's an Oracle. See, I told it's Proxy Stargate. Grab my queens, send them over to my main. Let's make 2 new queens, and let's make mass drones right now. Just make mass drones. And now that we know it's a Stargate, let's go ahead and make a Spore Crawler in each mineral line. And we can make a Spore here too for my third to shut it down. Okay, there's Oracle back in my natural. Let's go over to my natural. Have my queens go back there. I'm still making drones, guys. I'm not staring at the Oracle dying. I am making drones the whole time it is dying. Okay, we're oversaturated in the main. Let's re-rally it to the natural. And look at my drone count. We're still fully saturated. Even though I just took some losses. Does it really matter? And now let's have a queen go inject our third base. And now that we're saturated on 2 bases, as we did before, let's go ahead and just make some roaches. Just like 8 roaches. Just to be safe. Okay, we made roaches. We're good. Inject. 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 We can creep. 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 Make drones. Creep. And let's get a weapon upgrade and a speed upgrade for roaches. And for the guy who said, ViBE, when do you make a hydrogen? Once we start making larvae into drones and we can afford extra costs, now we will make a hydroden. So right now I can't afford it. We're barely spending our money. Or barely spending our larvae with our current money. Cannot afford yet. All my hatcheries are rallied to my third. We just got a lot of larvae. We're spending it all right now. But now suddenly, our economy is going to start ramping up faster because all these drones are going to start mining. And then we can make the hydroden. Okay, he's showed up with 2 oracles now. He's trying very hard to micro these oracles. Let's go ahead and keep making drones. Inject. 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 Make drones. Let's go ahead and make a Overlord, and now we can totally throw down a hydroden. We can afford it now because all our larvae is spent and we don't have to worry about that anymore. Creep tumor. Creep tumor. Creep tumor. Creep tumor. Let's make some more creep in the middle too somewhere with our queen. Doesn't really matter. Let's make another base because we're fully saturated again on this base. And we can also make an overseer on his side of the map because now we're going to also throw in it like a random scout in there. We just want to see kind of what's developing in the mid game. Sometime between 6 and 7 minutes is a great time to do this scout. 3 drones rallied to the gas right there that we just made, and 1 drone rallied to the mineral line, so we fixed this economy. This economy is perfect. This economy needs 2 more drones. Let's send it 2 drones to the gas there, and we're good. And then we'll keep making drones for this one. We're at 74 drones right now. And now that we just spent all our larvae, let's go ahead and creep spread our shit once. And now, what did we just do a second ago? We just made the overseer. So let's inject 1 more time just to keep our injects rolling because larva is the most important thing. Make drones. We're at 84. We're good now. And now we can start making hydras. And we can also go into making our overseer flyer on his base. So again, larva is always our priority. There's nothing ever that's priority over larva. I can see stalkers and zealots. That's great. It's fine with me. I don't mind. Make an infestation pit. Inject my hatcheries. Let's take another base somewhere, doesn't matter where. And let's also spread our creep. Spread our creep. Spread our creep. Spread our creep. Spread our creep.
Must place that
Army's attacking me. Select all army. Go defend that. Make hydras. Make a couple of spores. Or, I mean, sorry, not spores. One spore in case he attacks me with oracles again at this mineral line because we know he has them. And then we'll make a couple of gases. And we'll fix the saturation that we just depleted a little bit. The drones we just sacrificed. We're back to 84 drones. Make some overlords. Inject my hatcheries. Look at my tech really fast. We can start a hive. We can start a attack level 2. We're about to be able to start a carapace level 2. And we also have oversaturated minerals. So let's go ahead and start carapace level 2 because it's done now. Grab 3 drones. Pull them off. Perfect. Perfect. 3 drones. Perfect. And let's spread our creep.
mineral field.
Make hydras while we're spreading creep.
We require more mineral. Unacceptable.
Make hydras.
We require more minerals.
Make hydras. Now we're getting ready to max out, so we're about to attack. So let's make 2 changelings this time. Let's shift right click every base he has with one of them and grab the other one and do the other side of the map. Just like we did before. And this is going to tell us where his expansions are.
We require more minerals.
Inject my bases. Inject my bases. Inject my bases. Grab a couple drones. Send them somewhere new. And now we're about to attack for real this time. We're about to max out. We are now maxed out. Let's go ahead and throw down a couple of spines per base. Like we do before. Spine, spine. Spine, spine. Spine, spine.
Our forces are under attack.
This is kind of an awkward location for that. Let's move it there. Okay, spine, spine. Spine, spine. And we can grab 2 more drones and go spine, spine, spore. 1 drone didn't build. Okay. And look, he's here, so let's move him here. Look at my drone count, 76. Let's fix that. Make some drones, rally them all to this base. Good stuff. We're back to 80, or we're actually at 89 drones. It's a bit excessive. It's because some of my army's dying. 87 drones. Whatever.
Mineral field.
Big injects. Creep spread. Creep spread. Creep spread. Creep spread. Creep spread. Make hydras. Creep spread. And now let's select my whole army. Some of it's even over here dying right now. It's fine. Let's regroup it. Click it back. Get it all organized. And now we found out where his bases are with our changelings. There's one here and one here. So we now know the order of we want to attack him in. We're going to go select all army, attack here, shift. This is kind of a horrible ramp. Let's go like this. Attack this base, shift down here, over here, up, into the ramp, into the main. This if he doesn't mine these minerals, this ramp is awful to attack into. Because it's 1 by 1 hydras can go in. It's really bad. Now let's inject our bases. Start our 3/3 upgrades. And make hydras while we do these things. Make hydras while we inject. Make hydras. Look at my mineral line. 2 over. Fix that shit. Go over here. Send some jumps to the gas. 3. 3. Excess goes back to the mineral line. Make hydras. Spread my creep. Spread my creep. Spread my creep. Spread the creep. Spread the creep. Spread. And creep, creep. And 1 more. Make a couple more tumors. And we can even take this queen and now hold shift and move it down here to start spreading creep on this side. And yeah, there's the nice proxied Stargate that was happening earlier. And that made sense, by the way, because he did not really make anything but no gas costing units, and he had double gas and no expansion. Whenever someone does shit like that, they're fucking teching to something, and it makes a lot of sense when you think about it that way. But that again, that's higher level breakdowns. We'll talk more about that. I'd say more in like Platinum League and stuff. Okay, so let's grab a whole army. Attack down here to these zealots just to kill them. Let's shift a move up here to his third, his other potential third, back into his natural, up the ramp, into his main. Keep the pressure on. And let's take another base. Because mineral patches keep mining out, so we want to keep being able to send my drone somewhere. That's not going to be oversaturated. Grab 2 drones. That base is good still. Send them up here. Make hydras. Spread my creep. Spread, spread, spread. Spread, 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 spread. And if this guy is trying to get back in this game with like DTs, these spore spines at every base are going to shut that shit down so easy. I did hear a DT die, and you guys are also saying DTs. That's why we make spore spine, guys. Look at this spine. It has 1 kill. That was a Dark Templar. That's why making static D like this when you max out prevents future problems. Because can you imagine if there was 3 DTs, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here, and I'm in the middle of attacking, and I'm like, ah, shit. Ah, this is getting annoying now. Like, it could be frustrating to deal with. But now that we know he has DTs, we can go like this. This is how you fix this problem, okay? So let's grab 3 drones. Let's go ahead and make static D here, just like the other bases. And this will be the next base we transfer to. Let's go ahead and spread our creep 1 time, and make hydras while we do it. Spread our creep. 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 Spread that creep, boys! Spread that creep! Cool. We have a lot of the map consumed right now. Let's now also make a few overseers. And let's select all army. Bases are still mining out. Where? Okay, 1 here right now. There as well. Here as well. Let's send them all to the new base we just made. And let's spread our creep 1 last time because we've been, you know, taking a little while to do all this. Okay. Now, select all army. A move is 3rd. Shift, A move is natural. Shift, A move the ramp. Shift, A move the main. Control, click an overseer. Control F or click the portrait over here on the bottom right. Takes you to the overseers. Right click a hydra. Just right click any hydra. Does not matter. Make sure it's clicked on a hydra though. Don't click the ground. And now my overseers are going to follow a hydralisk and give detection constantly without diving and getting themselves killed. Go back to injecting. Injecting. Injecting.
Didn't think it was possible to beat last year's B2 GM, but goddamn, ViBE, you fucking delivered.
Yo, safety scissors. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like it. Spread that fucking creep, dude. Spread that creep. Because you know why? Because we don't give a shit about the fight. We don't give a shit. We just want to make hydras. GG. And now let's look at this. Look at the detection, right? Look, check this out. Check this out, huh? Check it out. Look at the overseers giving vision. And they're not dying. They're just like, yeah, we're staying above the hydras. We're not diving in too far. We're staying above. We're staying safe. We don't want to get ourselves killed right now. We're just... Okay, now they're not following anymore because the hydra they were following died. But it's okay. They did the job still. They got rid of the DTs and the observers. But when you actually start microing more, this won't happen anymore. This is just for like, you know, for these A-move situations where you really don't want to look at your army. But nice, boys. Nice. Yo, Cammy, what's up? Oh my God, Cammy, it's so good to see you. Cammy, it's been like a week. It's been too long. How you doing? All right, guys, let's look at the drone count and supply count. Drone count and supply count. So again, check out the oracle, right? 1 oracle dies in my main, a 2nd oracle dies in my natural. We just lost 13 drones. He invested into you know, the proxy Stargate, and he delayed his natural very hard for this. And after the process of netting 13 kills on drones, we're still ahead by 8 drones. And it's counting. Now it's 17. Now 17 drones have died. And look at the result. 27 probes versus 55 drones. This is the point when I'm like, if we know how to read a scout, if we get really good at reading scouts, I could have literally lost to 0. Because I did say he's going Stargate. But again, that comes later. We'll really explain why things like that make more sense later on. And just for those of you who are watching this right now and don't know what I'm talking about, It's literally all about gas, timing, cost of building, and current cost of gas in your opponent's build so far. No natural, no gas costs, no tech. What the fuck is going on? The only thing that really makes sense is a proxy something. And a proxy something that's isolated that will do the job on its own is usually a Stargate. If there were more, like there could also be proxied gateways with a Dark Shrine, and this could only be half of the gateways that he has. That could also be a thing. It could be proxied gateways, like let's say he makes like 3 more gateways somewhere else, and he goes like charge lot all in. That would be weird because he's still mining gas, but he could do that or some shit and make like Sentry Zealot or something. There's a few builds he could do, but realistically, a lot of these builds would be shut down by either queens or roaches. With my level of macro here, I'm not scared of one base that much. Like it's not that scary. It seems pretty easy to deal with. Especially since I also have a spine that's like spotting me. It supports me to make roaches just like it did against the Marines last game. If he does something on the ground. But it was a Stargate, and the Stargate netted him, again, 17 kills. And overall, this last Oracle just died right here in this big puff of green smoke. And it overall netted him a negative impact in the game. Which is something you can't come back from, by the way. You do not come back from a position like this very easily. This is horrible for Protoss. He probably doesn't realize it because he probably feels like he killed a lot of drones. But this is not an easy position to come back from. Because as you can see, look at the supply. Alright, boys. Well, this is going to be the last game of gold. I am 100% positive we're going to get promoted after this game. So now in the next league, we're going to be ramping it up even more. We're going to be delving into... now we're going to start actually going to... actually, we'll talk about this in a second. We'll just finish this game off. And we can see DTs are just wiping out my Hydras repeatedly. It's annoying. You know. It's super annoying, right? You're like, ah, DTs suck. They're annoying units. Where does he send DTs to in the base? Here we go. Look at this. DT gets slammed by spines. Easy. Another DT goes up here. Slammed by spines. That's the amazing thing about Spine Spore, guys. No problems. And now suddenly, the next time he comes over, he actually doesn't have DTs anymore. So I guess it doesn't really matter, but still. The Overseers are giving us detection now. And we would have killed them if they were there. And it's good. Okay, now we can conclude. Listen to the eagle! Oh, so sexy. And now we're in Platinum. So, yeah, Platinum 1, yeah. So we skipped leagues again! Now we're in Plat 3, guys. So that was the end of the Gold League series. I hope you guys liked it so far. I hope a lot of stuff is helping you out, makes sense, all those kinds of awesome things. Something to look forward to in Platinum is, again, everything we've already been doing before with a little bit of a faster max out again. Now in Plat, we're going to speed up. Our pace should be a little bit faster. We should be more comfortable now, a little bit more, because we're getting more used to it at this point. So the pacing of maxing out will be a little bit quicker. Plus, we're going to add in critical thinking to what we scout. It's not just going to be as simple as, you know, like something like, okay, does he have a lot of buildings or does he have a lot of expansions? It's going to be still that. Now it's going to be combined with actually trying to analyze what build he's going to go for a little bit more. We're going to try to expand our scouting a little bit. And unless I think of something else that makes a lot of sense, that could totally go in here and not be overwhelming. That is the main thing we're going to focus on. Scouting, and also, here's the other thing too. This is something I wanted to say that, yeah. Scouting is a big part of it. Plus, it's going to also be mixed with reactionary compositions. We're going to actually start making somewhat ideal compositions against what we're fighting against. We're not just going to go Hydras. Blind Hydras. Blind Hydras. We'll start actually making units that make a little bit more sense in what we're doing. So thank you for watching, guys. I will see you in Platinum. Until then, take care of yourselves. Stay awesome. Love you. Peace out, guys.